Hello, welcome to JavaScript tutorial, chapter 15, part 2, JavaScript Scope, Local Scope, brought to you by Ankpro Technologies. My name is Harish. In this session, we are going to learn about the local scope in JavaScript. So, in the last session, we learned about the global scope, and also we understood what is global scope, and also we saw some important points related to global scope. In this session we are going to learn about the local scope completely. So what is local scope? If you declare a variable inside any function with the var keyword, then that variable is called local variable, and that type of scoping a variable within the function is called local scope. And we are going to understand what is local scope in the help of this example right now. So as I said you in the earlier slide, like variables declared inside any function with the var keyword, and that type of variables are called local variables. And also another important point you have to keep in mind is, the local variables cannot be accessed or modified outside the function declaration. In the sense, here we have a function, okay, function name is create username. I hope you can see it. We have a function called create username, and we have a variable called username. Okay, suppose if I want to alter the value of this variable, okay, now I can do it within this function itself but not outside the function. Why? Because this variable is declared inside the function, so any variable declared inside the function cannot be change the value of that variable outside the function, and that type of scoping a variable is called local scope. Okay, now let me show you a demo of this snippet present over here. Okay, it's very simple. Now let me jump here, and here is my Visual Studio Code. Now I need to open the folder where I've saved my HTML page. Okay, and it's here, and I've opened the folder. Once I do that, I'll get the complete folder here in the Visual Studio Code on my left pane, and now I have a HTML page present over here. Now let me start writing the basic HTML structure. Local scope, and here it's body, and let me add a script tag to it. Now what I'm trying to do is, okay, now I need to specify. Okay, now what I'll do is I will create a function. Function name is let me take the names present in this code snippet. Create username. Create username. So here let me create a variable called user, and the value I'll attach to it as bill. Fine. Now let me create another variable, and that variable is called show username. Alert. Okay, and let me call alert here inside this username. Okay, now I have two functions. Okay, in the create username function I have a variable called username with the var keyword, keep in mind, and the value attached to it is bill, and I am pushing that variable to the alert function just to pop up this value on the pop-up window. And after that I have another function that is show username, and I'm trying to pass username, okay, a variable called username to the alert function to display the value present in that variable. But as of now, keep in mind we have variable present inside this function username, and this variable can be accessed anywhere within this function itself, from this starting tag to this closing tag, but I can't access this username variable outside this function, function. So now what will happen when I execute this part? So let me call the create username. So when I do this, Now I need to navigate to the folder where I've saved this page. This is the place. Now I'll get the output as, okay, let me see what is the output I'm going to get. I'll get the output as bill. Fine. And now let me call this show username. Okay. Now let me comment out this part. Control S. Go back and let me refresh. Here you can observe we are not getting the output. And let me inspect this. Let me open the console window. Here you can find we are getting an error. Okay, it's telling like reference error, username is not defined. Okay, that's the problem. We are trying to alert the value present in this variable username, but we are not defined that username anywhere inside my function. So that's the problem. Okay, I'm alerting this username, but this username is accessible only within this function, but it's not accessible inside this function. So in the sense, this username variable is locally accessible within this function but not outside the function. So we are getting an error for the show username function because it's trying to fetch the value of this variable. Okay, but it's not possible because this username can be accessed only within this function but not outside the function. That's the reason. This is called local scoping. Okay, local scope. I hope you understood. Okay, and we have to keep we have some key points in global scope. For example, if local variable and global variable have same name, then changing the value of one variable does not affect on the value of another variable. It's very simple. Let me show you. Let me remove this. Let me remove this also. So here we have a variable already called var username. So let me create another variable. Tom. Okay, but keep in mind this variable is called local global variable, and this username is local variable. They have the same name but they are different because this username variable can be accessed anywhere within the script tag, but this username variable can be accessed only within this function. So now keep in mind the meaning of this sentence is if the global variable and the local variable have the same name. That's what present here. The global variable and the local variable have the same name. Okay, then changing the value of one variable does not affect the value on the other variable. That's the meaning of that sentence. Here we have a value of username to Tom and here the value is Bill, but when I alert, okay, username, right now what is the output we are going to get? We are going to get the output as Tom. Let me show you. Okay, this is what the output Tom. Let me close this window. Now if I try to alert this, create username, now I'll get the output as Tom and now it's Bill. Okay, the meaning of the sentence is if username and local variable are same, have the same name, then changing the value of one variable does not affect the value on the other. That's the meaning of the sentence, and we saw a beautiful demo of it. Okay, and we have something else other than that. Let me show you. Okay, JavaScript. Let me go back to presentation. And here is my presentation. No block level scope. Okay, what do you mean by this? Keep in mind JavaScript does not allow block level scope inside the curly braces. Okay, JavaScript does not allow block level scope inside the curly braces. For example, let me go here and let me remove all these things present over here. No block level scope in the sense JavaScript will not allow you the block level scope inside this curly braces. So let me show you with the example. So in the sense variables defined in if block can be accessed outside the if block inside a function. In the sense, okay, in the sense, let me create a function and the function name is sample. Okay, and here I'll define a if block. I'll define if block. So here I'll specify some condition. 2 greater than 0. Yes, it is greater than 0. So I'll declare one variable, and the variable name is username Tom. Okay. Keep in mind, JavaScript does not allow block level scope inside the curly braces. In the sense, keep in mind, variable declared inside this if block, okay, it can be accessed anywhere outside the if block but inside the function. I repeat, variables declared inside the if block can be accessed anywhere inside the function. Okay, and so now I can access this variable. So now when I call that method, we will get the output as Tom. You can observe. In the sense, JavaScript does not allow block level scope. In the sense, variables declared inside the if block can be accessed. Okay, now I've declared a variable username inside the if block, and we can access this username outside the if block also, but that variable should be written inside the function. That's all. In the sense, I'm having a if block, I'm declaring a variable, and this variable, okay, it can be accessed outside the if block, okay, but inside the function. That's the meaning of this sentence. Like, JavaScript does not allow block level scope, and this is not allowed in any other programming languages except JavaScript. Okay, and that's for the day. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel Ankpro Training. You can also like our Facebook page visiting this URL. You can also follow us on Twitter. For further reference, refer our websites. We're on LinkedIn too. Last but not the least, please don't forget to give the feedback. Thank you. Have a great day.